Time to make a cocktail. I want a martini. Although I'm not quite sure how long this dry vermouth has been sitting on the shelf, I'm not going to use it in my drink. Welcome to the Cocktail Spirit from Small Screen Network. I'm your host, Robert Hess. We're doing a series of episodes where we focus on common mistakes that we see people make in doing cocktails, whether they're professional bartenders or home mixologists. One of them is when you use old vermouth. Now, vermouth is a wine. It's a fortified wine, and by that it means it's had like brandy or some sort of alcohol added to it. It's also got some botanicals added to it. Both the alcohol added as well as the botanicals are there to allow the wine to have longer shelf life. But that doesn't mean you keep it on the shelf forever. Matter of fact, it doesn't mean you keep it on the shelf for a long time. You take a normal bottle of wine, open it up, and you want to drink it that day, essentially. If you bottle it up and save it the next day, maybe put it in the refrigerator, but even then, you're only holding it for a couple of days. With vermouth, you can hold it for a couple more than just days. You can hold it for maybe a week or two in the refrigerator, but you don't want to use old vermouth. You can tell the difference. What I might recommend, if you have a bottle of old vermouth sitting on your counter or in your refrigerator and it's been there for months or longer, go out and buy a new bottle of vermouth of the same brand and try the two side by side and just see the difference in flavor. That flavor is going to come out in your cocktail. It's going to have a slightly skunky, maybe mildly sour flavor that really is not a flavor you want in your drink. Instead, what you want to do is have fresh bottles of vermouth, if possible, or small bottle of vermouth are really good too. Here's a 375. Using this, you're going to go through it a lot quicker, and it's not so bad since they're not very expensive if you end up having to throw some of it out. Now, this is a brand new bottle of vermouth, so it's going to make a great dry martini. So let's try that. Now, you've watched me make dry martinis before. As I've said in the past, the dry martini, and I'm using the word dry here, is not all about how little vermouth you're putting into it. It's the fact you're putting dry vermouth in it rather than sweet. And so you saw me put 2 ounces of gin there. Some bartenders might just put a dash or two of dry vermouth in there. I'm going to put 3/4 ounce of dry vermouth, which a lot of people might kind of say, oh my God, that's terrible. But if you've tried it, this is a much better martini than you would have otherwise. Otherwise, you're just drinking straight gin. This is a blending of the vermouth, a nice, fresh, open bottle of dry vermouth, and gin together. And to that, we're adding orange bitters. I'm using the Bitter Truth orange bitters for this one. And then add our ice. And also, as we mentioned before, we're stirring rather than shaking this because it's got all clear ingredients. If I'd shaken this, we'd end up with a lot of air bubbles mixed into it. Some people call that bruising of the martini. Now, in many cases, a martini you'll see garnished with an olive. I personally prefer using a lemon twist instead. The olive, heck, I'd rather have on the side a little condiment dish. The olive brine will settle in the bottom of the drink, and your last couple sips are going to be kind of salty and stuff, which really isn't a good dry martini. Lemon twist, twist it over the top, get some lemon oils, and then drop the lemon twist in. Try to get the twist floating on the top. And there we have a great dry martini made with a freshly cracked bottle of dry vermouth. Now that's a cocktail.